My dudes, today we are going to be talking about Evelyn coming to ZZZ and why I'm Evelyn. Sorry, kind of fell off a little bit, but we're here to talk about Evelyn and how good she's going to be in ZZZ and if you should be summoning for her. But before we get into that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that wonderful good stuff, and don't forget to check out GamerSupps. Use code TYSTRA for 10% off. Today's mix, for anybody out there that loves mixing with me, I'm using 2 scoops of goof juice and, of course, 1 scoop of lemonade to make strawberry kiwi lemonade. Delish. I'm just saying. Use code TYSTRA for 10% off. Link down in the description. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about Evelyn, right? And I'm kind of blocking her. Let me just right here. I think this is a good spot, right? But we're here to talk about Evelyn. Now, of course, we're also going to talk about the 4 stars. So the first one I want to talk about is Antoine. Now, or Anton. I keep saying Antoine. There's no W in there. Anton is an electric attack specialty character who's kind of bit. To be honest, if we look at the tier list here, and yes, I am using the tier list. I think that the tier list is a good basis. But I would definitely agree with Anton being down here at tier 3, right next to Corin and Billy. I don't think that Anton is that good of a 4-star. Would I say that Piper is better than Anton? Yeah, probably. So with Anton, the thing with him is that he's able to do his like normal like special attack, I guess is what I would call it. I guess is the best way to put it. Let's see. Not basic attack. Or is it basic attack? Maybe I'm crazy. No, or it's a special, I think. Maybe? Am I crazy? I'm having a hard time with this. But he has this little thing where it drains his energy like through just the one thrust, but he just stands still. Like he's very like stationary when it comes to his like special attack. So it's something that like I really don't recommend people doing. It's the reason why Corin is down there too. Corin's is very stationary. I would actually put Billy, like it's tough because there's no tier 2.5. If there was, I'd put Billy above them. But like Anton and Corin have this thing where they're very stationary. Corin can move a little bit, but Anton not so much. When he thrusts his like little drill thing, like he's stuck there. At least Corin, when she's doing the little chainsaw movement, she can move. But yeah, I feel like Anton is just one of those characters that you get because you know the voice actor, Mr. Alejandro Saab, which by the way, I'm a big fan of Alejandro Saab, Sayu VTuber. Call me, buddy. We gotta play. Please. No, but yeah, I'm a big fan of Alejandro. He's a fantastic voice actor, but outside of that, like Anton is not exactly the most fun slash strong character. So unfortunately, Antoine gets a thumbs down from me. Nicole is still goated and hot. Like, can we just appreciate how good Nicole is as a character? And honestly, her being like at the top of the support tier list, just about right next to Lucy, makes a lot of sense because I still use Nicole on my teams. She's really, really good. She's able to basically pull enemies in with her, like, either her special or her ultimate. And with her ultimate, like, it lasts a pretty good long time, making sure that everybody's in there. So that way you could actually do some quick damage. Very good at crowd control. Very good crowd control character. I love Nicole. Plus, she's extremely hot. Her new outfit, oh my god, bro. I'm gooning. Oh man, you know, but in all honesty, Nicole is just one of those like 4-star characters that is just so good and just continues to stay good. So I'm very excited to say, like, if you like, granted, yes, you get her for free, but getting the mindscapes of her just makes her that much better, bro. Like, she's just really, really good. So overall, Nicole gets a thumbs up from me. I say that if you are summoning to get mindscapes from her, it makes sense because she's just that dang good, right? And especially when it's like 2 featured A-rank characters, like you have more of an opportunity to get a Nicole than you would in, let's say, Genshin Impact getting, you know, Zing Show from 2, or going to Wuwa and getting, you know, freaking Lumi over the other 2, right? Like, you have a better chance of getting Nicole in these banners for Mindscapes than you would at other games. So, big shout out to them for, you know, making that. Like, I think that she's really good and worth it. Now, Evelyn is not a part of the tier list yet. But I do want to go over a little bit of her abilities here. We do have her core skills. Upon entering Binding Sealed, Evelyn's crit rate increases by 23%. So you don't really have to build too much crit rate into her. It seems like she gives herself crit rate, which is fantastic, especially when you pair her with Astra Yao. Astra Yao is going to be boosting her up real good. After leaving Binding Seal, she retains the buff for 10 seconds. If Evelyn switches to another character while in Binding Seal, she will automatically follow up with a special attack Binding Sunder first 4. Additional ability Ambush Point. When another character in your squad is a stun or support character, Evelyn's chain attack and ultimate damage increases by 30%. When Evelyn's crit rate is over 80%, the damage multiplier for her chain attacks and ultimate increases to 125% of the original value. So it would be very beneficial for you to build her crit rate minus the 23%. So probably building her around what's that? I'm so bad at math. That's like 57, right? 57% crit rate. If you build her with 57% crit rate and go into Binding Seal, you get that 80% crit rate. You get these boosts as well. So it works really, really well. And it's when you pair her with a stun or support character, because she is an attack-based character. So 9 times out of 10, you're building an attack character, a stun character, and a support character on the same team. Or you're doing attack, anomaly, DPS, and then stun or support, right? So her best partner is going to be Astra Yao. Makes sense, right? Because it's her bodyguard, right? Or Evelyn is Astra Yao's bodyguard. That's what I'm trying to say here. So we got our basic attacks, which are pretty normal. Dodge, assist, special. We go into special. Before entering Binding Seal, press the special button to activate. Use Luna Lux Garrett to pull the enemy and charge forward with a kick, dealing fire damage. With the attack hits the enemy, Evelyn will launch the Lunarex Garrett to bind the primary target and enter Binding Seal. Anti-interruption level is increased while using the skill. Basically, she does this whole thing where she, like, pulls these chains in and it binds the person, just like Kafka or Yinlin, and it's just insane. Like, this is, to me, right? And I don't want people getting mad at me for this, but it's the truth, right? With how the jiggle physics are with Evelyn during this, it's what Kafka should have been, right? Like, if you were to put red hair, or not red hair, it's like purple maroon hair. If you put purple maroon hair on Evelyn, this would just be Kafka in the best possible way. Like, so for me, like, I'm excited for Evelyn just to see it. But it seems like with this being like the main point of her kit, you're gonna have to build her up with that stuff, right? She's got this little like, her specialty bar builds up to it, and you hold down the attack button, you're able to do it. So pretty stoked on that. And then of course she has the EX form of that, which it seems like dodge enemy attacks upon activating the skill, and if a perfect dodge is triggered, gain an additional 23 burning embers or 25% burning embers. And pulling the enemy or surrounding enemies, press the fight to cancel to detonate, immediate follow up, and a basic attack's third hit. Pretty cool. Her chain attacks, pretty standard, hits enemies with fire damage, uses Lariat Garrett to bind the primary targets and enters Binding Seal. Her special and her chain are what you're going to use to get into Binding Seal. With her actual ultimate, slash in front with multiple Luna Lux Garretts and detonates an explosion, dealing massive fire damage to enemies in the area. Upon activating the skill, Evelyn removes her jacket and enters the Dance of Awakened Fire state, which lasts for the entire battle. While in the Dance of Awakened Fire state, when Evelyn consumes burning tether points to activate chain attack, Luna Lux Snare, she will retain 1 point of burning tether point. When the attack hits an enemy, Evelyn uses Luna Lux Garrett to bind the primary target, entering Binding Seal. Character is invulnerable while using this skill, which is pretty dang sick. And she loses the coat so that you could stare at her ass more. I'm just saying, Gooner game. But it's not bad. Like, I want to preface this too, just this side tangent. When I call this game a Gooner game, I don't mean it as a bad thing. Like, the characters are hot, and you love looking at them, right? It's the same thing with Love and Deep Space. It's a Gooner game for women. That's fantastic. Good for them. They get to oogle, they get to ogle. Everybody wins. There's nothing wrong with a Gooner game, right? This and Nikke are fantastic. So, I don't know why people get so upset about that, like being called a Gooner game. There's nothing wrong with it. But I digress. This isn't about Gooner games and logistics. It's about, should you summon for Evelyn? It's tough, man, because she's actually like so good. She's probably, honestly, for the tier list, she is probably going to be up there as 0.5 or 0. She's definitely better than Ellen Joe, like just from pen and paper alone. But it's tough because like for attackers, she's got to beat Zhu Yan. And Zhu Yan's really, really good. But I think that she could, with the abilities that she has and the amount of like playability between stun and support characters that she could really do. I think that she might be near the top of 0.5, maybe reaching 0. So should you summon for Evelyn? Yes, if you don't have a DPS. If you do not have Miyabi, Bernice, Jane Doe, Yanagi, or Zhu Yan, yes, you should summon. If you don't have Lighter, which Lighter is a like stun DPS, which is pretty insane because he could put out some damage. If you don't have Lighter, then yes, I think you should go for her. But if you pulled for Astra Yao, I think you should pull for Evelyn because Evelyn works really good with Astra Yao in tandem. So definitely put that stuff in there. So put them polychromes in, baby. But just understand this as well. And I'm going to preface this because I want this understood. I'm not saying for you to spend your money, right? Be responsible when you're gambling, right? Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. It's exactly how it is. But yes, be responsible with your money. If you are going to put some money into it to summon for Evelyn, that's your money. But just be responsible. Don't put yourself out on the streets, right? So, anyways, that's going to be it. Love you guys to death. And as always, we'll catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.